for joining today. This is a request. Wow, let me restart. This is an information session for a request for information, which is titled the King County City of Seattle Continuum of Care System Collaborations and Partnerships, RFI. I'm Eli Griffin, and I am Interim Procurement Manager here at KCRHA. And with me is Kelsey Beckmeyer, who is our COC manager, as well as Joe Bechtold, our procurement specialist. It seems like people are having, okay, sound is good. All right, I can also speak louder if needed. It might just be me. I'm seeing in the chat that people are having some difficulties. So refresher info session today for the COC Collab and Partnerships request for information. Today is May 11th, 2026. Today we are going to go over a quick update of the Notice of Funding Opportunity. Then we'll go into a timeline of this request for information, an overview of it, the information that we are requesting, submission instructions, and then an opportunity for Q&A. I'm going to pass it over to Kelsey for a NOFO update, and then we will continue on with the info session.
Excellent. Thank you, Eli. Hi, everybody. Kelsey Beckmeyer, she, her pronouns. I'm the COC manager with KCRHA, wanting to give a pretty high-level overview of what we anticipate for the FY26 NOFO, or Notice of Funding Opportunity for COC funds from HUD. We have some forecasted release and due dates from HUD. This was on grants.gov. So the anticipated release date of the NOFO is May 29th. Other communications from HUD have indicated June 1st, so it's anywhere between May 29th and June 1st, where we anticipate seeing the publication of the FY26 NOFO from HUD. From that communication, we also anticipate having everything due to HUD by August 26th, 2026. So these are the deadlines for everything that HUD is communicating. Within that, we have a anticipated local competition. This is where we ask everyone who is wanting to either renew existing COC funding or apply for potential new COC funding. That local competition timeline is anticipated to have a release of June 10th and a due date of July 3rd. We have on our website information around all of the local competition information for new funding opportunities, as well as the renewing project information. Please review that. And if you have questions, you can send it to coc.questions@kcrha. This session is around the RFI, so it's not going to be around questions related to the NOFO. There will be other sessions that we hold around the Notice of Funding Opportunity that is anticipated. So if you have questions like that, please hold them for today. But you can send any questions to coc.questions@kcrha.org. And I will hand it back over to Eli.
Great, thank you, Kelsey. So the timeline for this request for information has it due May 29th. We released this on May 4th. This information session is today, May 11th. The last day to submit questions specifically about the request for information is May 18th at 5 o'clock. And as I said, May 29th is our deadline at 11:59 p.m. I recognize this is a quick turnaround. However, the information we are asking for is fairly high level, and this deadline is in anticipation of the release of the NOFO. So no funding is awarded as part of this request for information. There isn't any guarantee of a contract to any entity that submits information through this process. The information collected will be used solely to improve KCRHA's ability to submit a competitive NOFA application on behalf of the COC in our region, and to accurately describe system coordination and program delivery approaches. Responses to the request, wow, responses to the request for information are entirely optional. They are not required to apply for the NOFO or any other funding, and submission or non-submission of a response will not have an impact on an agency's eligibility, evaluation, or funding consideration in any future funding opportunities. The information that we are requesting is about the collaboration and partnerships between homelessness service organizations and other system partners, other systems such as healthcare, behavioral healthcare, justice system, and so on. We really want to know, what systems do you work and partner with, and how are these informal or informal relationships? And if you're willing for formal relationships, MOUs and contracts. This allows us to show HUD that we have proof of these partnerships, and that our system is working and collaborating with other systems to serve people as best as possible. We're also wanting to know if homelessness service providers anticipate applying for the NOFO, and if in a partnership or as an individual agency. As I said, it's a very high level application. Anything that is not applicable to you or your organization, you can simply skip over. We're asking you to submit responses to a smart sheet, and also submit contracts and MOUs via that smart sheet. All questions and responses are for information and planning purposes. It does this as I stated earlier, this does not constitute a competitive solicitation or a promise to issue a competitive solicitation in the future. This is an unfunded process, and this doesn't commit you to apply to future competitions. This is really to improve our region's response to the NOFO and ensure we keep as much funding as possible within our region to really serve folks. For more information about this RFI, you can go to kcrha.org, go to the resources tab within our funding opportunities webpage, and there is a fiscal year 26 continuum of care NOFO tab. The first item up top is an overview, which includes links to all of our NOFAs, as well as a link to our RFI, and the RFI is also the second link here on this tab. I know that that was a fairly quick presentation. So if folks have any questions specifically about the RFI, we can answer those. I will say there is one question in the chat that I saw that is, will this presentation be sent out or uploaded to the KCRHA website? This presentation will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. It usually takes 2 to 3 days. But definitely by the end of week, it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, so you will be able to access it there. Any questions that we receive as well will be posted in a Q&A document, which will be uploaded to that funding opportunities webpage I showed you in that earlier slide. So if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand or add it to the chat. All right. I am not seeing any questions. So everyone, thank you for attending. I will stay online until 12:30, just in case folks show up later. But other than that, I hope you all have a great afternoon. If you think of any questions later on this week, you are welcome to email rfp@kcrha.org. And we are accepting those questions through the 18th. Yes, just as Kelsey said, RFI questions, RFP at KCRHA, COC questions, COC.questions@KCRHA. If you accidentally email one of those, we will get it to the right spot though.
Can I ask a random question?
We'll only be able to respond to RFI questions, but you can
Okay.
submit a random question. If it's COC specific, you can send that to the COC email. And then other random questions, feel free to send it to the RFP email address.
Okay. I was just curious because I got a very strange text message from somebody saying that they're representing KCHA. So I'll find somebody to reach out to.
Oh, yeah, please do. Actually, I'm going to stop recording really quick just because it seems like most of our questions are done for the RFI.